All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Infinite Social Solutions. Um, this is a weekly live stream for resume consultation and resume help. So, if this is your first time here, welcome. What I do on a weekly basis is basically I have a live stream where I offer help to people for resume help. Do consultation. I go over your resume, show you how to improve your resume, give you tips. If you need your resume done, I also help with that as well. But I do everything resume related. Give me a couple seconds here. Noticing I'm getting sound twice. If the sounds okay to you, let me know. I need to. Never mind. I got it. All right, we're good. All right. So what I do here on a weekly basis, like I said, resume consultation, help folks with their resume, help them build their resume, improve their resume. Weekly live stream. Outside of that, you can send me your resume at any time. Just go to resume at infsocialsolutions.com. I'm going to put that in the chat here so that you can send me your resume and I can take a look at it. But how is everyone doing this morning? Hope everything is going well. And give me a couple moments here and then we will get started. One more. All right, that should take care of that. All right, cool. So for this week's live stream, what I'm going to be going over is how to create an AST resume, and I'm using an article I found on jobscan.co. It basically explains what a ATS resume is and how to create one. It's really quite simple when we get into it. Creating an ATS resume, which is ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System, and I'll go over exactly what that is. But creating an ATS resume is fairly simple. It's nothing too difficult. All you're doing is taking the keywords from an already existing job posting and using those keywords in your resume. I'm going to show you how to the easy way of doing that using Chat GPT. If you're not familiar with Chat GPT, it's AI. Using AI to do all sorts of tasks online. So I'll be going over that. So first thing, ATS, Applicant Tracking System. Okay. So applicant tracking system is computer software that helps companies manage the hiring process by sorting through and organizing applications. All right. So basically what that means is that instead of the normal or traditional way of like some HR manager or department managers reading individual applications, just going through each application, reading through, your qualifications and job history and things of that nature. It's an automated system now, or some companies use this automated system. And basically what it is It's just you when you upload your resume to a website like monsterjob.com, indeed.com, glassdoor.com, you know, those other job websites, instead of, again, HR, or just instead of a human being going through and reading each application independently, this ATS system, the applicant tracking system, what it does is it does the work for them, but it does it in a way where it's just looking for specific keywords, right? Like, say for instance, you worked on a help desk, right? They're looking for keywords like phone and ticketing system and escalation and things like that. And those keywords are the same keywords found in the job description, right? And that's how, when they use those systems, that's how they're able to find applicants, right? So they're not really doing too much work trying to find applicants. They're letting the system do it for them. So what that means is that it's quite possible that you could be a highly qualified applicant, right? You could be a highly qualified applicant. You've been working in a help desk for 10, 15 years. You have the experience. You've done the work. However, you may not have that great of a resume. And one of the problems with your resume is that you don't have those keywords that the system is looking for. Okay. I'll give you an example of when I did work for a help desk. And for a little while, I wasn't in charge, or not in charge, but I was a part of the hiring team. So what we would do, we would actually go through and read resumes. However, we were only allowed to pull resumes that actually had the keywords, that we had a list of keywords to look for, and we only were allowed to pull resumes of individuals whose resume had specific keywords. Some way or another, you know, someone figured that that was the best way to find applicants, if the keywords match. Now, the way we would do it is we would have a stack of applications. We would go through, sift through, find the keywords, move those over to a pile, right? That's the more or less, that's the good pile, right? So we would contact those applicants first. And if we were not able to find someone to fit the job, then we would go and look at all the other applications that we received that didn't have the keywords. In most instances, that system worked simply because if the application didn't have specific keywords, when we actually went through the application again, not the application, I'm sorry, went through the resume again and saw the bullet points under the work experience, a lot of those resumes actually did not have help desk experience at all. So instead of wasting time going through a bunch of resumes for people who were at the time, you know, potentially were not qualified for the job, you know, we would look at those later and find people that find those resumes with the keywords of people who were definitely qualified for the position. Okay, so hopefully you're keeping up with me. Good morning. All right, so ATS resume. All right, so like I said, it's really simple. All we're going to do is we're going to look up some jobs. Okay, and we're going to use Chat GPT, which is a website AI, and put that in the chat as well. We're going to use Chat GPT to enter in the job description. We're going to have Chat GPT extract the keywords from the job description, and then we're going to use those keywords in bullet points as in the resume. Okay. One of the things that you'll also learn too is that a lot of times an easy way of putting your resume together is actually just taking the information in the job description and taking that information and putting that exact same information into your resume, because that is what employers are looking for, right? They're looking for those type of things. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to go to indeed.com. I already have my tab up. All right, we're there. All right, so like I said, for this, I'm going to be using my own resume. So we're going to go over, I'm going to use the job titles that I have to look up jobs under that title. Now, keep in mind that your job title at the company you work for another company, that job title may be something completely different, right? I'm an IT specialist, so for jobs that I've worked in IT departments, I have many different titles depending on where I'm working. A lot of those jobs are the same job, and it's just that company calls it something specific, right? Again, the example, help desk, right? I worked on a help desk, but at the company I worked for, they called it the service desk. Okay, so when I'm going to look for jobs, I'm going to search for jobs under that job title, I'm looking under help desk, but I'm also looking under service desk as well too. And that's something you want to keep in mind when you're putting together your resume. What you may want to do is, if you find that your job has several different titles across different companies, what you can do is, in the job title of your resume for each job, you can put that same or like let's just say there's 3 different job titles, right, for the same exact job. It's okay to put those 3 job titles under each job that you worked under that title, right? So, right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to. So, for instance, what you would do is, if for a help desk job, I would also under that heading in my work experience, I would put help desk, but I would also put service desk too. Now, if there's another job title or job title that fits that job, I may do that, but I would recommend only doing at least 2, no more than 3 for that. And that way, when you do upload that resume to a website, you have those keywords in there for that job title, and there's a higher chance that your resume would get pulled by several companies. Because again, some companies are looking for that help desk job title, other companies are looking for that service desk help title, even though 2 different job titles, same job, same requirements, right? So let's go ahead and start here. So I have my resume up here. So the first job we're going to look up is IT trainer. All right, so I'm on Indeed. We're going to look for IT trainer because that was the job title for that job. So we have see here, we got trainer position, training specialist. So that's something that I could add there. So I'm gonna just go ahead, IT trainer / specialist. All right, so I've added that IT trainer, IT specialist to my resume. So now when I do submit this resume to a website and they're using ATS, I'm more likely to get a hit on my resume. All right, so let's see here. See if there's any technical trainer, technology trainer. Okay, so I think I'm gonna add that one too, because I do teach people how to use technology. So I'll just add another slash. So right now the job title, IT trainer, specialist, technology. Okay, so those are 3 titles for that same job. So this now increases the likelihood that I will that my resume may get picked up by the ATS, right? So let's take a look at this. Technology trainer. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that, right? See here, when I scroll down, so description of roles and responsibilities, right? So what I'm going to do now, I could easily just take what they have under their job description and use those bullet points and just put them into the bullet points for this job title on my resume and just tweak them a little bit to make them specific to the things that I have done, right? But what I'm going to do, because I want to show you how this works, is I'm going to start here, description of roles and responsibilities. Wow, they have a really short job description. So I am going to take those jobs and responsibilities, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert them into this into my resume, and then I'm going to come back and edit that later. And we're going to find something else here. All right, let's go. All right, so let's go see here what they have here. The CLC. All right, so we got a good one here. So training instructor. And I'm gonna take all of that job description. We're gonna copy that. Go to Chat GPT, and I'm gonna give Chat GPT the instruction to extract following keywords from the listing below. All right. So first, I'm giving Chat GPT the instruction. The instruction I'm giving it is to extract the keywords from the listing below. And then what I'm doing is I'm pasting in everything from that listing. I'm gonna hit enter, and what Chat GPT is going to do is going to extract all the keywords from that listing, right? So now it is done. So for training instructor duties and responsibilities, I have a list of keywords. Now, keep in mind, anytime you're using Chat GPT and you get results, right? What you want to do before you do anything with those results is actually go through and read and make sure it is exactly what you want, right? Because the way Chat GPT or AI works, it's doing what I told it to do, but it doesn't necessarily know that I'm specifically. It's not aware per se that what everything is extracting it is for a training instructor, right? How AI works is it has a set of instructions that it follows. So any text that I put in here, even if I put training instructor, but I put any text that I could put text that has nothing to do with training instructor. I could put in text. I can put in like a story, right? Like Mary had a little lamb. I can put that in, right? And it's going to extract the keywords. It doesn't know if it's training or not. It's just doing what I'm telling it to do, right? So some of these keywords may not be relevant to training instructor, right? Like for instance, subject area. That may be a keyword, but has nothing to do with the job whatsoever. That was just a keyword that it extracted from what I put in, but I'm not going to use subject area. I'm not going to use that. Another one. Let's see. Are there any in here? Common areas, like stuff like that. So just go through, always go through the job description to see or the results in ChatGPT to see if the results double check, see if there's stuff you can use or stuff that is not relevant to what you're doing. All right, so I have my keywords here. We're back at the resume. So we're gonna basically, what I'm gonna do is sit and compare the keywords here to what they have, but I'm also going to go through the actual duties here and see if any of the duties in the job description actually match specifically to what I've done in that position. Because like I said, you can just simply just extract or copy and paste the bullet points in the job description and use them in your resume. Like that's not plagiarism. So you can go ahead and do that. So the first one, provide instruction that is relevant to current and future work specifications and job opportunities within occupational subject area. No, track a document that trainees are receiving to require, provide group. So here's one. So provide group and individual instruction utilizing the most effective teaching strategy. So, yep. So that is something that I did in this position. So we were simply going to add that. And I'm going to make it, and I'm going to make it past tense because I'm not currently working. Actually, I am. This is a current job, so I'm gonna leave that there. And just to make things simple, and I'm gonna combine some of these. So I already have. So provide group and individual instruction. Provide group and individual instruction utilizing the most effective teaching strategies. Then I have a bullet point here. And that one is assess individual and group training needs. So my existing bullet point, one that I have here, is planned and carried out courses of instruction, right? One of the bullet points that I extracted from the first job listing says has assess individual and group training needs. So, I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different one. Says plan, prepare, and research lessons. So plan and carry out courses of instruction. So what I'm going to do is, actually, I like the way that sounds. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to add that here. So plan, prepare, and research lessons. And we're going to take out my old bullet point, and we have a new bullet point here. And actually, I like all the bullet points. All right, here's one that I did not have that I probably should have. Instruct users in group settings or individually. So clean this up a bit. Now, when it comes to the number of bullet points you should have for a job, if you're listing, so if you had if you worked in multiple places, right? What you best practice is you really don't need to repeat bullet points for each job. Let's say I worked at 5 different help desks, right? I'm not going to have the exact same bullet points for each job. One way you can lay out your resume as far as a work experience. So let's say I have I worked at 5 different help desks for 5 different companies, right? For the first help desk I worked at, you want to go ahead and list all the things you've done, list the bullet points that you did at that job, right? Especially if those bullet points would match all the other jobs you've had at help desk, right? So let's say, for instance, I've got 6 good bullet points that pretty much sum up what I've done at every help desk job. Okay, use those bullet points for the first job. So that's the one that you may have worked at 10 years ago. Use all of those bullet points for that job. Now, for every other job that you list, the other 4 leading up to the most recent job, what you want to do is add bullet points that are specific to that job. Okay, that aren't that you things that you've done at that job that you did not do at the other jobs, right? Because what that keeps your resume from looking is redundant, right? And it looks kind of lazy. Like, I had 5 help desk jobs, but I'm just copy and pasting the same bullet points for every job. It looks kind of lazy. I really can't tell, and someone reading your resume really can't tell that you've done anything, I would say, special, or you've done things that set you apart from other applicants. Okay, so again, you take the common bullet points, list them for the first job, and then for the other jobs that came after, try to list accomplishments, list things that were specific to that job. You know, if at one job, you know, you had the lowest call time at that job, you had the lowest call time out of any agent at that job. You know, you were the goal was 10-minute call time, and you were able to keep your calls under 5 minutes, right? That's something that's something you want to show on your resume. That's something that the employer wants to see. You know, that means that you are at least productive. You're good at problem solving, and you're quick, right? It shows that you're fast, and you're not only good at your job, but you're fast at it too, right? Because on the help desk, the whole idea is to keep the call time down. Now that sets you apart from someone else, someone that may not have listed their call time, right? And they're looking for somebody that's not going to be, I would say, I'm not going to say wasting time, but someone who takes too long on the phone especially if you have a high volume help desk, right? You're getting tons and tons of calls a day. You don't want people that are going to take forever with a customer, because 1, the customer doesn't want to be on the phone that long, and 2, you got tons of customers sitting on hold waiting for their turn. So that would help you. So again, list the good things that you did at your job. List your accomplishments, right? Don't just list, oh, I answer phones, right? That's kind of a given if you worked at a help desk. So I don't know anybody that worked on a help desk for a long period of time and didn't answer the phone, unless you were given some other role outside of answering the phone, like supporting the help desk or something like that. But if you worked on a help desk, chances are you answered the phone. And that's something that's pretty obvious, right? So yeah, you just want to list your accomplishments and things like that. So I'm just cleaning this up here a little bit. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. Any questions at all. Again, if you need help with your resume, the email address should be in the chat, so you can send an email. I'll take a look at your resume. All right, cool. All right, so again, just going through these bullet points here. Let's see. Go back and look at the keywords. Got reports. So okay, here's one. Evaluate student skill competencies and job readiness and maintain accurate student attendance records. So that is something I did. So I'm going to add that here to the resume. Add it to a bullet point. All right. So, cool. So for this particular position that I held, so PC trainer, specialist, technology, that is those are 3 job titles for the exact same job. I've went to a couple of job descriptions, took out bullet points that related to things that I've actually done in that position and added them. So I think we started with about 4 or 5 bullet points, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bullet points each. Since I did take them out of job descriptions, these bullet points now have keywords that employers are more than likely using ATS to look for. So right now I've just made a couple small improvements to my resume, but now my resume has a better likelihood of getting picked if the employer is using an ATS system to search resumes, right? So I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I'm gonna go to the next job title, which is PC instructor. So PC instructor, pretty sure that has many different job titles, but specifically PC. Now, as far as PC instructor, that job that I have was equivalent to what I was doing as an IT trainer and specialist in technology. But PC instructor was more or less specific to teaching people how to use a computer, right? So for that one, I'm actually going to, because they still have this job listing. I guess they're looking for more. As a PC instructor, I'm going to actually go to that job listing, and we're going to look at the duties or responsibilities of a PC instructor they're looking for, right? So, conduct workshops, assisting in developing, maintain records on student progress, attendance, participate in overall planning of programs. So what I can do is I can literally extract all of these bullet points and actually compare them, and I've already done that for that job. So I've already done that for this PC instructor. So that job title already is optimized for ATS, right? So I'm gonna go to the next job title, which is social media manager. I think I'm gonna have to bring this down a bit. So social media manager, let's see. One of the jobs I currently work as well. And we'll just do a search here. I'm pretty sure there aren't too many different titles for this. All right, so there's social media specialist. Okay. I'm gonna look at that, see what they are looking at. Right. So it's got a few here that I think I could use. And there's one here that I like. So I'm gonna take that. And I'm gonna paste that. Oops. Paste that in here. Actually, I'm going to combine that. Take away this bullet point. All right. All right. So now, the reason why, so the first job that we worked on was IT trainer specialist technology, right? That job, that position, that job title is similar to PC instructor. However, PC instructor is specific, is a specific job title, right? I taught people how to use a computer. As an IT trainer, it's kind of broad. I'm not just showing people how to use a computer, but I'm also training them on just about anything that they use a computer for. Okay. As a PC instructor, I was literally just showing people how to turn the computer on and off, how to use a mouse, how to search a web, right? Basic use of the computer. So that was very specific. But as an IT trainer, I wouldn't necessarily be doing that. I would actually be showing them how to use multiple devices, right? How to use a tablet, how to use a digital camera, how to use a webcam, things of that nature, right? So that's the reason why I left the job title for PC instructor, just PC instructor, and then for the IT trainer specialist in technology, that's why I combined those three job titles, because those are all more or less the same job, but they all very similar, right? And I was going to do that here for IT trainer, IT specialist. So I've done that job at other places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace those job titles with the job title IT trainer slash specialist slash technology, right? So we're going to keep it consistent, because I fulfilled that role in other companies, right? Again, social media manager, so don't have to touch that one. Must be a page break. Okay, sales advisor. All right, let's go look at that. Go look up sales advisor. Sales, financial advisor, sales assistant. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna add assistant to that job title. Consultant. Yes. I was a consultant too. So although sales advisor, assistant, consultant, they all fall under the same. So again, 3 different job titles, all with the same duties and responsibilities. So all right, so that looks fine. Let's see. Where was the one I was looking at? Let's see. Sales advisor, technology specialist. All right, so this has a lot here. And just comparing the bullet points to what they have in his job description, and I think pretty satisfied. A lot of it matches, have a lot of the same keywords. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Adjunct instructor, that only has 2 bullet points because again, I already have the generic bullet points under another position that I've held. So I just the bullet points I added for this particular job were things that were specific to this job. So basically I just the bullet points I added were the actual course that I was teaching and the number of students that I had for that course. So I'm not going to repeat the same bullet points again that I already have somewhere else, because if I was an instructor somewhere in multiple places, chances are I was instructing, so I don't have to keep using the same bullet points for each position. It's a given that I did that work. Let's see, IT site coordinator. So that was a position at one job. Look this up here. Not much. Let's see, site coordinator. It's the same thing. Nope. So this is not, has nothing to do with, this is a job here that has a similar job title. I was an IT site coordinator. This is just site coordinator. So, but this isn't anything close to what I did at the other job, right? So my resume may actually end up like this job. If they're searching or using ATS to find a site coordinator for this particular position, there is a pretty good chance that my resume is going to come up, right? And that's probably the only thing that's going to match as far as keywords if they were using ATS for this particular site coordinator job. So, and that is possible. For some reason, I get a lot of CNA and LPN jobs, right? There's nothing in my resume that even remotely close to working, having remotely close to me working in any of those type of jobs. I do not have any type of health experience or work or any experience working in the health industry at all. Nothing like that is in my resume. However, next to IT jobs, the second most requests or hits I get are for CNA LPN jobs. Like I probably actually, I would say I get more emails about those type of jobs than I actually do IT jobs, which is weird. But again, for some reason, somehow my resume just always finds its way in getting filtered for CNA and LPN jobs, and it's weird. I haven't figured it out yet. Really don't care, but it happens because whatever keywords I have in my on my resume, that is the same keywords that they are looking for. So keep that in mind. And as I'm going over my resume, it's getting pretty long. It's about 7 pages now. So on another live stream, what I'm going to do is probably go over ways of reducing the size of your resume and creating a resume that's about 2 to 3 pages to make it easy to read, because this is another reason why employers are using ATS to go through resumes. Because my resume, I mean, I'm literally listing several different jobs that I had. My experience goes all the way back to, this resume goes all the way back to 2001, right? Knowing what I know and having worked and actually worked with HR to read resumes, unfortunately, there are some HR departments at certain companies that if they feel your resume is too long, they're going to ignore it. Or if they don't see specific keywords on the first couple pages, they're going to push your resume to the side. Now, ATS helps with that, right? So when I upload this resume to a website, I can get away with having a 7-page resume, right? Because they're just filtering out using keywords. So they're going to pull my resume based off the keywords. And normally they'll just skim through. If the keywords match, they're more than likely going to give me a call. However, if I am giving them a physical copy of my resume, I'm not going to give them this version of the resume. Okay. There are several different versions of resumes. There are skill-based resumes. But I can go over that on a later date. But for now, this is just my basic resume that lists everything on it. Those other type of resumes, what you do is, one of the ways you can do it, instead of listing bullet points for each job that you have, you'll list the applicable skills for the position you're applying for, and just list the jobs and the time period that you have it. But I'll go over that in another live stream, show you how to reduce the size of your resume if it's getting too long. Now, in some cases, you may not be able to do that. You may have that much of an extensive work history that it probably best that you do list all of that stuff. But you know, it's this whole resume game. It can go either way. Everything's 50-50. I mean, I've read articles that tell you that you shouldn't do certain things, and then I've read articles that are the complete opposite. The things that the one article tells you not to do, there's another article that tells you that you should do those things, right? So it really all depends. It's a case by case basis. I, for one, the 7-page resume, it's only 7 pages because I added extra bullet points because his resume was 5 pages. However, I've never had a problem finding a job with my 5-page resume. In fact, when I did go in for interviews for a lot of these jobs, the the HR people that I talked to, they were actually pretty impressed by my resume. And then when I went in for the interview, whoever was interviewing me told me they were impressed by my resume. So I never there was never a reason for me to reduce the size of my resume, because clearly people were calling me for interviews, and the people that were interviewing me that looked over my resume, they liked my resume. So I'm having success with this resume. So it's really probably based on experience, not in my best interest to reduce the size of this resume, because it gets me jobs, right? That isn't the same case for other people, right? There are places, there are HR departments that may require you to have a 2-page resume, or their HR doesn't spend a lot of time going through resumes, and they set aside resumes that are too long. It really depends, right? But the best tip is to create a resume for every situation. So probably actually on the next live stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a skills-based resume, see if I can reduce the size of this resume. So again, we'll go over that in the next live stream. Okay. All right. So pretty satisfied with this. I'm not going to go too deep into editing this because everything else, like I said, is specific to the jobs that I had. It was just that one cleanup that we did with the IT trainer title. So now I should get better hits with my resume. All right, so just to go over what I did. Here. So again, what I did, so we could create an ATS resume. Again, ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. It's an automated system that employers use. What they do is they upload a list of keywords that they're looking for in resumes. And what the software does is filters through resumes and to find those keywords. And if in some instances, if your resume does have enough of those keywords, the system will pull your resume. HR, take a look at the resume, see if it's actually a good fit, and then they give you a call. They do this instead of having a human being try to go through 100 resumes a day. This makes it easier for them. However, you can get lost in the shuffle if your resume does not have specific keywords, right? So what I've been doing is I've been going through job descriptions and actually pulling the duties from those jobs. But I'm also using Chat GPT, and I'm gonna just do that one more time here. Chat GPT to actually pull out keywords from job descriptions that I find. And for purposes here, I'm using Indeed to search for different jobs. So like a technical trainer 3. So what I'm doing here is going through the responsibilities for this job, going to Chat GPT, extract keywords from the following, paste that there. And if you want to learn how to use Chat GPT, I could you could set up an appointment with me, and I can show you how to do that. If you're interested in that, just let me know in the chat. All right, so I use Chat GPT to pull out the keywords here. So, and I completely forgot to mention this when in the beginning, right? So the reason why we're extracting the keywords is because you may already have your resume, right? And you can use the list of keywords that you get here that you use Chat GPT to get. You can use these keywords to basically plug them in to the bullet points that you have in your work experience on your resume, right? Because those bullet points may be explaining your duties and responsibilities at a particular job. However, you may not be using the keywords that employers are looking for when they are using ATS to go through resumes, right? So yeah, so you may want to copy and paste these keywords into a document, and then go through your resume and see if your resume includes these keywords. If not, you can just replace them with your existing bullet points, and go from there. You can you basically improve your resume and create your resume so that ATS or the automated tracking system would more than likely find your resume when you upload it to a website. All right. So yeah. So that's about it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can email me. So what I'm going to do now is going to stop here with this part of the live stream. I'll still be here and available. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. But I'll still be here monitoring the chat. And yeah, we got about another hour left. The live stream is going to end at 10 a.m. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I'll be monitoring the chat. Put my